Welcome to Studio V. We're back with another video from Star Jobs Helpline. With me today is Shann from The Jungle People. The Jungle People is an experiential learning consulting company that specializes in total management consulting. A trend that has cropped up recently is that other than leadership training and motivational courses and team building, is that companies are also sending teams that are about to be retrenched for the Jungle People to work on. So Shann, can you tell me a little bit about what your company actually does at these workshops?
Yeah, sure. We find it very ironic that a lot of companies are sending teams like that to us because we are generally helping them to work better as a team. But it is reality nowadays that these teams are losing their jobs due to the economy or due to globalization where India is going to perform their jobs for them. So in the end, they're not going to have a job anymore, but at the end of the day, they still need to perform well before they leave. We help them go through that, but we also try to help them go through identifying what are the problems and the concerns that they have, what are their worries, which is relevant to them, it is real to them, it's their reality. But we need to highlight over to them that sometimes you've got to get things into perspective, so you need to also focus on the things that you need to do despite having these concerns.
Yeah. So what are the main issues that usually crop up at the workshops? Like what would they talk about, when you get them to list down the things?
Well, they have a lot of worries. Some who are married and have children, they worry about how they're gonna feed their children, how they're gonna buy books for their children. They don't really normally worry about themselves. They worry about the family a lot, and that's quite sad and quite touching, technically.
I think a big issue is that the older workers who are getting retrenched, they are worried because when they get back into the workforce, they sort of have to compete with the younger staff. How do you guys help them overcome this issue?
Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult for the older generation because they've probably been holding the jobs for 10, 20 years, and if they've got to come out again, they've got the younger generation to contend with. And with IT being such a big thing nowadays, you've got blogs and everything else. They find it very difficult to catch up. Number one, age is a factor. Energy, the older people worry that they might not have as much energy as the younger generation, right? Skills-wise is also another problem because they may feel that in terms of IT, they may be lagging behind, right? And also, sometimes they worry about their looks. So there are a lot of worries that the old generation they worry about.
Right. Okay, but going on to a lighter side of things, I think a lot of people, after being retrenched, they might want to go on to pursue a new hobby, or they want to start baking, they want to start a Star Trek merchandising sort of thing. Well, how do you guys sort of encourage them to go down that path, at your workshops?
Well, we can use the Jungle People as an example, and we normally tell them how we started out. So people who want to turn their hobbies into a lucrative business, we say, go ahead, anything is possible nowadays, but just keep things in perspective, be realistic. And that's the best thing that anybody can do in these times that we're facing right now. So what we'd like them to do would be, think of the other ways that you can spend your time with, because you're going to have a lot of time now. And you can lose weight, spend more time exercising, or you can spend more quality time with your family. So there are a lot of things that people can focus on and do.
Okay, I'm interested to know a little bit more about the interesting moments that happens at the workshop. Because obviously it's a very not exciting time for those who are going to venture to something new, but sort of sad and emotional time as well. Yeah,
you sometimes see a lot of anger, and sometimes you see a lot of sadness, and the sadness, you will see some of them, tearing up a little bit. They might be sobbing a little bit because of the fact that they don't have the security that they used to have. And we empathize with them, honestly. And the best thing that we can do is to help them list down what are the things that they can do at the moment. Improve your resume. Go for the resume classes that Star Jobs having at the moment. Look at your skills. Relearn your new skills. And what we do in the workshops would be focus on doing these things, right? There's just no point coming here and just run through the whole session without actually focusing and putting things into a list of what you need to do. So that's what we try to help them do.